Hello, and thank you for joining us for another day of Holy Week devotions. I'm Pastor Greg, and today we're taking a look at Saturday. I want to take a look at three different groups of people. The first group is the religious leaders. It says in Matthew 27:62 and following. The next day, the one after preparation day, the chief priests and the Pharisees went to Pilate. "Sir," they said, "we remember that while he was still alive, that deceiver said, 'After 3 days I will rise again.' So give the order for the tomb to be made secure until the third day. Otherwise, his disciples may come and steal the body and tell the people that he has risen from the dead. This deception will be worse than the first." So these guys felt like they won. They got what they wanted and Jesus was crucified. The problem is they still feared him. They went to Pilate the day after Preparation Day, which, if you see how this kind of fits within there, Preparation Day is the day before Sabbath. So the day after Preparation Day is Sabbath. So these religious leaders went to Pilate, a Gentile, into his home to talk to him on the Sabbath, which is contrary to what they should be doing on the Sabbath. They then claim that the disciples are the ones that they were afraid was going to do something. The problem with that is the disciples were never really a problem. Christ and his message was the problem. These people, they didn't think Christ was really going to raise from the dead. They thought that was done and over with, but they were still afraid of the message. They got what they wanted, but they weren't satisfied. These guys felt they had everything without Christ, and the reality is Christ is the only thing that could truly help them. The next group is the disciples, specifically John and Peter. These two were in the inner circle of the disciples, and each one of them responded a little differently. See, John, on the night that Jesus was arrested, he just ran. But he actually came back for the crucifixion itself. He watched, and he just felt the pain because he couldn't do anything. Peter, on the other hand, when Jesus was arrested, he went out flailing with a sword trying to stop it. But then he ran and came back for the trial and wanted to see what was going on. Well, when that happened, people recognized him, and he got afraid, and he lied. He denied knowing Jesus and ran away. And this time he stayed away. Peter hid, not so much because of fear of the Romans, but because of fear of what he'd done. Because of fear and denial and the pain that caused. The pain of knowing that Christ was dead and that Peter wasn't the person who he thought he was. Both of these men were crushed. They were in pain and felt that they were all alone. Have you ever felt like that? The last group is the women. Specifically, we're talking about Mary Magdalene and the mother of Jesus. Now, if you read the story about where they were in the ministry and how things took place, you'll see them throughout it because they were an integral part. They supported Jesus and the disciples. They tended to the needs. They cooked, they cleaned, they did the things that were necessary for them. They may not seem like a whole lot, and it may be something that seems like not much of the ministry, but I guarantee you there's not one ministry in this world that doesn't have people supporting it and helping it along. Quite frankly, they're typically the more important people in a lot of ways. That's what Mary Magdalene and the mother of Jesus were. They were supporting and helping the ministry go on. Verse 55 in Matthew 27 says, "Many women were there watching from a distance." This is at the crucifixion. "They had followed Jesus from Galilee to care for his needs. Among them were Mary Magdalene, Mary, the mother of James and Joseph, and the mother of the sons of Zebedee." They had the courage to be there at the crucifixion and watch the horrible death of the person that they had loved and supported. Mary, the mother of Christ, watched as her son died. So we have the privilege of being able to know the story and what happened and how these people were reconnected, how Christ rose from the dead, how Christ came back with power. We see that. They didn't. They were still sitting in the mix. Where are you sitting right now? We all have a choice when we're faced with the reality of the cross. We can reject it and think that we've got everything under control. We can react to it, recoil in the fear and the pain. Or we can have hope and accept the certain reality of forgiveness in Christ. I want to challenge you to think about and look at where you're sitting right now. If you're focusing on the hope in Christ, put a comment down and say, yes, I have hope in Christ. If you're stuck in the circumstances around you, I get it. I've been there. But come tomorrow to our services. Come to one of the services on Easter and experience the hope in Christ. If you haven't connected to Jesus yet and you're still looking for satisfaction in life, I get that too. But I invite you as well. Come tomorrow. Be part of our Easter services. We've got them at 8, 9:30, and 11. Come, see what this is all about. Join us as we experience the hope in Christ, as we see what Christ has done for us, and you can see the love that Christ has for you.